You know what we're starting with tonight?
No, sir.
Hot pumpkin soup with a cheese gnocchi and a chèvre brioche.
Was anything you just said food?
Nice try, Josh. You're a smart guy. Don't pretend that you don't know that soup is food. Hello, everyone, and welcome. In today's episode, we are running some Slayer Fighter in normal lobbies while we get hyped for the new season, which is currently scheduled for production release sometime in early June. Let's not get too focused on dates right now. June 7th is what's being thrown around, but we will see. But if you've been away from the game for a few weeks or more, and it feels like the vast majority of this community has taken a little break, then you may have missed how poorly the Iron Mace dev team has handled their recent updates. Days of unscheduled downtime, painful rollbacks, debugging code in production, all while trying to get people to log into the game with FOMO character skins, new quests, and final leaderboard pushes. But we'll come back to leaderboards and FOMO skins in just a minute. The keen-eared amongst you will have heard Warlock stuff happening above us, so we're going to have a fight break out here, and let's get into it now. So we hear a Hydra go down, definitely a Warlock action. He's very confident. And here's our man. Missed with the Hydra. I get a slash to his head. He fails to parry. Gets a parry there, and I take one in the head. And there's the Phantomize. I'm going to lick my wounds for a second. I'm going to re-engage him when I'm outside of one-shot territory on the sword. Let's get a potion running and see if we can damage him from range. I don't think he's had an opportunity to heal much. I've watched that a couple times. I don't know if I hit him there or not, but check out that axe around the corner. Kobe is one of the best axes of my life. All right, he's going to run into danger and more mobs. I'm not sure I support that. He gets off a second Phantomize. I know I've got an HP advantage on him at this point. I've popped second wind. He still hasn't had a chance to heal, and he is dead. He tried to cast Hydra with too little health, and sometimes that's what happens. All right, I got to clean up this PvE, but while I do that, let's hop back into it. So we left off, and I said, you know, all they've been trying to do is get us to log back in. They have been luring us with FOMO skins, with new quests, and encouraging a final leaderboard push for those of us who haven't hit Demigod already, but meanwhile the servers have been largely unavailable. All of this with a week to go before wipe. It's very concerning. But there I was last night, the servers were down. I'm sitting in the worst place imaginable, which is the general chat channel of the Dark and Darker Discord, waiting for any kind of heads up about when or if the servers might come back online tonight. And I've got to tell you, I had one major takeaway from all that time spent on the Discord. We really need to better fund public education in this country. But that's an issue I don't think we're going to solve here today. Instead, here is a problem that we can solve. All right, step 1. Iron Mace, start testing your builds publicly on the public test server. Step 2, release to this UAT environment on Wednesdays. And if it goes well, 24 hours later, push that exact same build to production, again, on Thursday. Step 3, have rules in place that dictate what severity an issue has to be, or what its impact is, to justify downing production servers, or when and if a defect should initiate a rollback. Step 4, give customers who paid for the Hold the Line edition $10 worth of red shards as compensation, and then make the test server available to everyone. How to start repairing your reputation that you've cultivated as unprofessional clowns in 4 easy steps. Okay, so in other news, we're likely less than 2 weeks away from some very major changes in Dark and Darker. I say this because on May 28th at 11 a.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time, SDF posted this to the Dark and Darker Discord. But let's hold on a minute. We heard somebody behind us. They were down in the water. I'm now kiting away, making him think I didn't see him. I'm going to move up to this door on the right. I'm going to fake like I'm opening it, and that should give me a free shot, and it does. Good stuff. Okay, I've got the advantage. I'm pre-potting. He doored me. It's alright. He's going to hang around. He wants to fight. He's got a rapier. I've got an axe. I pop second wind. And, well, whoa, shield bash. I think nobody expects shield bash. But once again, the offhand dagger, really good at getting in over heaters or really any shields, frankly. Really like it there. All right, good fight. So let's go back to what we were talking about. SDF posted this. I'm going to leave it on the screen. Feel free to pause it if you'd like to read it in its entirety. But I'm going to go ahead and hop in and just start off by saying that it is absolutely laughable to say that you guys care at all about the integrity or the smoothness of the leaderboards for this season. I mean, that ship set sail somewhere around the time you guys dumped multiclassing onto the game mid-season. You know, make a list of your top 20 priorities for the game, and if leaderboard integrity is on that list in the top 20, I'll eat my hat. Okay, so this is a really befuddling statement, honestly. The new inventory system gave you renewed confidence. Okay, how did a new inventory system renew your confidence? Why was your confidence waning before the system? What did you change exactly? Or, put another way, how is the new inventory system different than the previous one? Yeah, okay, here's something behind me and to the left. I'm going to move in here and reassess. What do we have here? Oh, a little PvE teaming, eh? They're 2v1ing that mimic. Barbarian goes to loot, I shoot him in the head. Want to get him first, I think he's the bigger threat. The other guy looks like a ranger. And he's got a spear out, which means he's basically already lost. And the prophecy comes true. 2 for the price of 1. I assume they weren't teaming against players, but who knows. Anyway, welcome to the jungle. Let's go back a second. We're talking about the new system. They said that it renewed their confidence, and I'm asking very fundamental questions to try to clarify what they meant. How did a new inventory system renew your confidence? What was your confidence, and why was it waning before the system? What did you change exactly? Or put another way, how is this new inventory system different than the previous one? Why are these changes important to the future plans? I'm fairly confident in saying that there are not thousands of customers breathlessly waiting for a new inventory system to bring them back into this game. So with all due respect, like, what the hell are you talking about? But you'll be glad to know that in the next sentence, SDF does let us know that the team has been working hard on the next wipe. Also, that wipe will be a new chapter. And in that new chapter, they are going to stop doing foolish things and finally start, and I quote, trying to find an identity which combines both, end quote. Talking about a uniquely dark and darker combination of PvE and PvP. Terrence, you have to hire a communicator. I don't care if it's public relations, I don't care if it's community management, but their job is to stop people who work with you from saying foolish things that make you all look foolish. You can't simply make a statement like this without a modicum of detail. What is your vision for this new game that you're finally creating? How do you plan to strike that balance between PvE and PvP? How are your design processes going to change to support this new future? Honestly, here's the rub. When FDF said that, half the population just heard, "Great news! Dark and Darker is going to be great again in the next wipe. They are going to change the game in ways that I will surely love, and there will be punch and pie for all my friends. Everyone's going to come back. It's going to be super." Well, great. So expectations are now sky high for the folks that read it that way. To the other half of the population, they heard SDF say, "Drop your socks and grab your keyboards, because we're about to do some crazy-ass shit. Yippee-ki-yay!"
Don't worry. Them voices ain't telling me to kill you no more.
Yeah, of course we still gonna kill him.
You see, with no details to work with here, it sure feels like you guys have a lot riding on this late Q2 wipe and release. You're going to be boldly striking out in new directions while trying to onboard what I anticipate will be large chunks of new players at the same time. To which I say, Godspeed and good hunting. But for those of us who have been paying close attention these past 9 months, this boldness smacks of hubris, and your design decisions over that same time period are not renewing of our individual confidences. At least not to the extent that the new inventory system has seemingly buoyed yours. All of this is to say, corporate communications is largely about setting expectations, and you need someone with communication skills to, do the communicating. But back on topic. SDF says that Creep is gone. That's right, Creep is out of the game. Great news. But without understanding why Creep is gone, we're left wondering, is this just SDF waxing depressive in his undiagnosed bipolar cycle? Or has he finally heard one of his imaginary friends complain enough about it on stream to finally do something about it? Who knows? But for a second here, I will roleplay as his press agent and give a real explanation. Creep needed to be removed because Dark and Darker has far too short of a time-to-kill calculus in PvP. The vast majority of fights are determined by who gets initiative or who lands the first blow, leaving little room for skill expression or counterplay. You see, Creep doubled down on the core problem by making it far too easy to gain an upper hand in terms of initiative. Currently, nothing is more overpowered than attacking from surprise. Removing Creep is the first step in our efforts to increase time to kill across the board, to allow for more emergent gameplay, more skill expression, and more counterplay. Our next step include an in-depth look at stats and plus damage scaling on gear, character movement speeds, and an overall pace of play across the various dungeon maps. Our central concern today is that fast time to kill equations have made defeats feel too cheap, and victories feel, less than well-earned. But that's enough beating up on the dev team for not being able to effectively communicate or use mature testing processes, which is standard most of the world around. I'd like to draw your attention to the last week of game content. Clearly, the smart thing to do would be to just let the season die down. Take your licks for it being the worst season so far, and in fact maybe the low point for the project as a whole, and focus up. Really take a moment to learn lessons from the mistakes made this season, and second, really focus on changing your process to ensure that those kinds of mistakes aren't repeated in the upcoming season. But instead, Iron Mace introduced 3 new grind-heavy quests slightly more than a week from the end of Wipe. The rewards for one of these quests is a tremendously powerful racial skin. You might as well have yelled from the mountaintops, "Log in now, get an exclusive skin, limited time only, act now." More on the skin in a minute, but here are the numbers. It took me about 18 hours of grinding to complete all 3 quests and obtain the Frost Skelly skin, the Fireside Ale animation, and the coin flip emote. Now, I'm slightly above average in my ability to play Dark and Darker. I am well above average in my map and general game knowledge, and it took me 18 hours. You only had a week to play those 18 hours. And on top of that, you have downtime events, extended server maintenance windows, which I have to schedule my play around. For those of you who don't know, each quest required you to go into all 3 maps, kill roughly 100 common mobs, kill 5 sub-bosses, and collect around 20 uncommon drops in the forms of kobold and goblin ears and or ales. All of them had to be looted. Setting aside the wisdom of focusing more eyes on your project when it's not in the greatest shape, setting aside the downtime, which you could likely rationalize away as being unavoidable, this kind of grind is dumb, and it's poorly calibrated to Western audiences. Iron Mace, you guys are consistently missing the mark about what is fun in your game and what is not. So let me help you calibrate. The fear of missing out, the FOMO grind, like that's part of the dark arts of like lesser game developers and trash mobile game shovelware companies. The quality of your core gameplay loop is what will drive lasting engagement and customer retention. Gating every new skin, every new system, or every new piece of content behind a grind wall, it just leads to burnout and bounce off. I don't think those are the things that you want. I think these are the things you're having to resort to because there's been no new content in basically 6 months. Let me put this into a meme format to better communicate with everyone. Getting to play Dark and Darker for 18 hours in a single week, awesome. Being forced to play Dark and Darker in a single week for 18 hours, not awesome. Do you see the difference? But Koopa, I hear you say, no one is forcing you to play more than you want. And, well, that's partially true, my copium-addled friend. But let's take a moment and look at the new skin. It looks pretty good. Yes, it's another Skelly skin, but this one comes with +1 weapon damage and -3 move speed. A really interesting set of stats for a racial skin. Now hold on. I think I hear something around the corner. Huh. Oh, hello. Okay, since the landmine rogue is back, let's talk about it a little bit. The best thing you can do is do fast attacks just into them as soon as they start jumping you. That's why I started attacking with the short sword. I think the the landmine rogue is once again going to be on the rise. I think we're going to see a lot more of them, and your best bet, particularly on the fighter, particularly running this build, is to just swing away. Just start swinging, and whoever goes down first, well, they're going to go down. Regardless, going back and talking about Koopa, I hear you say, no one is forcing you to play more than you want. Well, that's partially true. The skin looks good. In the context of high roller lobbies, it is a very much nice to have on a couple different classes. Rogue and Ranger really jump out to me as being two classes which will greatly benefit from the +1 weapon damage without any, perceivable downside. I mean, both of those classes are fairly mobile, so losing 3 movement speed, not a big deal. Now, I'm not completely crazy here. You see me swinging away, and I'm swinging away because I know there's another rogue somewhere on the map, and I thought I heard someone, but I'm not crazy. I'm looking for a rogue. Okay. But outside of the context of high roller maps, if we look at this from normal lobbies. Now, longtime viewers will know I play a lot of normal lobbies. I have a lot of reasons for doing so, which I'll go into more detail at another time and in another video. But eagle-eyed viewers will notice that this fighter I'm playing right now in the background has +8 weapon damage stock, 7 from talents, and an additional +1 from the skin. This character has +8 weapon damage naked. Now, this is a very real, very palpable advantage in normal lobbies. Sure, Koopa could say, nah, I'm not going to do this grind. It's too close to the end of the wipe. I don't care that much about the skin. But in doing so, I'd be putting myself at a real disadvantage in every game I play in a normal lobby next season, because this will be the stock skin that a majority of the melee classes will be running. Now we hear somebody else moving around over there. I'm going to psych him out, and I'm going to head this way because I think he's moving parallel to me on the other side there. Go ahead and pot up. And let's see what we've got. Alright, he is a lot faster than I think he is, or either that or he went a different... Whoop, I hear something over there. What do we got? I see a fighter. He is running away from me. I'm going to sprint to follow. I'm going to shoot and miss. I'm going to pop a second shield pot. Let's see what you got, buddy. He hits me with his bow. I take the longsword over his shields. Huh, funny coincidence. He's running the +1 weapon damage skin as well. No, I definitely hear somebody above me. Nope, he's on the other side of the store. Let's see what we got. So going back to our conversation for a second, like setting aside the fact that I could skip out on this, like I'm just too competitive. I'm too stubborn to like let it go. I can't countenance the idea of being at such a severe disadvantage all of next season if I don't pick this up now. And at the end of the day, that's precisely the psychological angle that Iron Mace is playing. I mean, it's effective. It's frustrating to me personally. I mean, I don't like getting played, and they're definitely putting me in a position where I am going to miss out if I don't play. Now, this guy's completely shook me. I have no idea where he's gone, and, whoop, there he is. That's that rogue I was looking for earlier. All right, come here a minute. A little short sword to the head, another swipe, and he goes down. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm a little resentful that Iron Mace is having to resort to this kind of psychological tactic to drive up, you know, engagement at a time where it couldn't be less relevant. I mean, they're on the cusp of bringing in a whole slew of new players. They're at the cusp of kind of redefining definitionally what Dark and Darker is going to be all about. Like, this season's a write-off. Like, what are you doing? You know, you're only causing people who would be probably playing the game anyway to play more than they'd like on a timetable that you're dictating, or miss out. It's not fun. But anyway, if you've made it this far in the video, do me a favor, please like and subscribe. It helps me a ton. And the vast majority of my views are not coming from subscribed folks. So if you enjoyed this kind of content, this kind of gameplay, and of course my sermons, then please come back. Give me a like and subscribe. And what else did the YouTubers say? Ring that notification bell. And whoop. Okay, what is this? All right, I'm getting... Well, that's the way the Koopa crumbles. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please like and subscribe, ring that notification bell, and until next time, Koopa out.